Good evening, my good people. Welcome to the Wednesday night edition of the Blitz Pickup. Listen, we have some very troubling news to talk about. We got some big concerns that me and my co-hosts are going to talk about. We also might have a huge disagreement, but y'all know how we get over here, so y'all expecting that. Now, listen, Miami Dolphins. Apparently, they love first timers. We're going to talk about this because we just came to realize that it was Troy Aikman's first time as well. So not only do we have a first time head coach, but we also have a first timer at I guess the help or whatever he's supposed to be. So we're gonna talk about that as well. And then Bobby Slowik. Come on, man. Omar, I'm gonna give you a shout out. You at it again. You asked the question, and Bobby Slowik had the whole Dolphins Twitter or X in an uproar. Apparently, Tua can bounce back. I don't know what that means, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. Before I do that, my co-host, Lou, come up. Oh, wait. Before you say something, Lou, I already know. My apologies, my brother. It pays to know someone. Come up. My bad. All right, there you go. You got the phone.
I appreciate that, Tone. Hey, Tone, all I want to say is I'm so happy that I know you. So now, if I ever need something, Tone, all I got to do is reach out and call a friend, and a friend will guide me in ways unbelievable. Tone, it pays to know somebody. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yo, no. I saw you. You had to bring this up. Yo, Michael K said the QB coach quit before he started. No,
And
my
that is
brother.
a fact. That is a fact.
No, he's not. That's not facts. No, he got a promotion. See, I was trying to explain earlier to my co-host over here. He got connected to the Hafley name, and he got promoted. It seemed like people that get connected to Hafley get promoted. So
The,
y'all
the,
complaining about him.
the man
I'm
ran
just
away. The man ran away from the name Halfley. That's what he did.
okay. That was the yeah. I mean, he got promoted. I'm just saying. But what's good? Suicide. I see G2 in the building. Roadrunner. What's good with you? Mark Brown. Yo, what's up? What's up? Oh, Roadrunner said, bounce back. We really juvenile. We about to bounce back. If you know, you know. OG Coach Mo. What's good? What's up, guys? Delusional Patriot fan. What y'all do to Hackett? Man dipped before the season started. He got promoted, man.
We
He
we hired we hired Jeff Halfley. That's what we did.
yeah, but no, Josh Hapley hired him. That's so he got promoted, and that's what happened when you get attached to the Hafley name. Listen, the more research I do on Hafley, the more I realize that Lou just a hater. He's hating on Hafley because he's a Mike McDaniel minion. Yeah, y'all want to talk about Tony minions? What about the Mike McDaniel minions? Because that's where Lou is right now. He didn't like he was going to have to coach.
Yeah, but
Hey,
the problem is
listen,
there's no Mike McDaniel minions. It's just me. I'm solo dolo out here in these streets.
Mystic. My bad, Mystic. I didn't mean to call you
Oh,
out. Yeah.
okay. Well, two of us. My bad. Two of
Hey,
us.
man, listen, man. Two is enough. That's all I know. Two is enough. Serve him third person. I ain't trying to see him Jeezy. Oh, okay. But listen, man, we got a good listen. This might be a good one. Y'all might want to get in here early. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if it's your first time over here. Um, JD the Great in the building. Good evening, everyone. Sunny days. We miss you, Mike. Here we go. Another Mike in here. All right.
Talk to him,
Mike
sunny
made it.
days. Talk to him.
You know what, Roadrunner? Shout out to you, my brother. I think 99% of us could get on and be on the same page with this. Boy, if this coaching staff keeps Tua, I'm done with all of them. These are facts. I'm telling you, I'm canceling every road trip I have planned. As y'all know, every season we have at least 3 to 4 planned. Um, the only one that I might not cancel is Las Vegas, and that's just so I could go link up with my boy Lou, link up with my boy Mystic, and whoever else want to take that trip. I think Shake Money and Shake Money and crypto is going to be out there. If they keep Tua around, but we're going to talk about it. Listen, we're going to talk about it. Let me not skip
And,
ahead.
and
We
we
going to
are going to
discuss it.
talk about it. And what I need is Tony, his minions, and everybody else to stay on that side. They Jeff if you ride with Hafley today, you ride with him Hafley tomorrow. And I don't care if he brings Tua back or not. You guys, y'all said y'all wanted change. We got change. And I know someone without minions that said the grass ain't always greener on the other side. So when Tua is back, I need Tony and his minions to go and start saying the oos is loose. Because this is what y'all asked for.
I just want to point out, you said when.
Well.
So you're sure that Tua's going to be back?
Well, like you said, we're gonna talk about it, but it
okay.
it's sounding like Tua's coming back.
So let me speak for me and my all my good people that follow me on the behalf of Tony, and Tony's minions, right? We're on the right side. We're on the Miami Dolphins side, my brother. I don't know what side you're trying to put us on, Hafley, No. We're on the side of the Miami Dolphins. It's all about the logo. It's been about the logo. I'm sorry. You the only one picked a different side. You jumped off the logo side and just said Hafley's trash and they suck and everything. So now you're a coach, dude. That's all. We always been on the side of the Miami Dolphins and the logo.
And I'm on that side too. But you see, I it's crazy that. And again, Tone, I salute you. Right, you became a pro. I told you that's a being putting on for the show answer right there. Like, how am I supposed to debate that? You talking about the logo? You know I'm about the logo too. I can't debate you in that.
I don't know, man. You a mystic, man. I'm just saying. Bobby Slowik is the only one that said that no one else. It's the only one that said that. No one else has said it. That's a fact. Ghost. But listen, we ain't gonna skip it because I see everybody want to talk about that, and I know Tua is the very hot topic and it's very polarizing. So we want to dominate, but we got something that we need to discuss, and I think we have some serious concerns about. So let's get into it, my brother. Topic number one. First come, first serve. First timers. This is your first time here. I know y'all see the three gentlemen that are up there. Troy Aikman, John Eric Sullivan, and Jeff Hafley. I'm sorry, but we heard Troy Aikman had a interview that he did, and he said some very troubling things. Some good, some bad, but I was kind of troubled by it. Now the decision might be different, but I was kind of troubled, and we all know that Lou is on this from get-go. But I want to play it for y'all so y'all can see what we're talking about. I want y'all to understand exactly what we're referring to. So here we go. Give me a second. Here we go, y'all. I got y'all. I want y'all to be well aware of what we're talking about.
Past me, and then I got a call out of nowhere from the Dolphins, and they were looking for somebody who could help them. They reached out to a number of people. My name apparently kept emerging, and they reached out and asked if I would help them. My first concern was that I've always been asked about coaches. I've never been asked about general managers. And so I just wanted to be sure I could give them what they were hoping I could. And I talked to some people, did some homework on it, reached out to some folks, and not only did I think I could help them, I became very confident I could help them a lot. So I decided to do it. It was a great experience for me. Loved getting to know Mr. Ross and his family, Danny Silman, his son-in-law, of course, Tom Garfinkel, who I had a history with already, going back into some other businesses, Danny Marino and Brandon Shore. And so John Eric Sullivan was hired as a general manager. They then asked if I would stay on and help them find a head coach. So I was involved in that process as well, and thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was, I thought we did,
Listen. Lou, I don't know. You wanna take a stab at that one first? Because I know there's a lot of things that he said, but it was a lot of things that we should have some concerns with.
Well, do you want me to address the concerns, or do you want me to address how he lied when he was speaking? Which one do you want me to address first?
You have the flow. You pick and choose.
All right. I'm gonna start with the lie first. The man literally said, His number one concern was he didn't know none of these general managers. Then he proceeds to say, so I made some phone calls, gathered some information, and then I went back and I was like, oh, I can go help them. Well, that's a lot because you didn't help them. Whoever you talked to helped them. Because you said you didn't know them. That's like, again, Tone, what we were trying to explain to people earlier. You hire me to do a job that I don't know how to do. I call you because you know how to do that job. But guess what, Tone? When it's all said and done, nobody knows Tone. But Tone's the one that gave me the information. Tone's the one that hired the people. But I'm the one that's getting all the credit. I'm the one that got that paycheck, Tone. Hey, Tone, hey, thanks for the phone call, Tone. But all this bread I'm collecting from the Dolphins, you ain't getting no piece of that. That's where I want to start. Number two is it not shocking that what we was presented was Troy Aikman was coming in here and he was going to make decisions? Sounds to me Troy Aikman didn't make no decision because I heard you say it earlier, Tone. Wasn't it Brandon Shore that ultimately picked the general manager?
Yes. Brandon Shore.
So what was Troy Aikman exactly here to do? Like what we were told was Troy Aikman had all these resources and stuff. Tone, now he mentioned Danny Marino. Does Danny Marino have phone numbers to people you think in this league?
I believe so. Yes.
You don't think Danny Marino could have just made a phone call to do the same thing Troy Aikman did?
Possibly, yes.
Like, what are we talking about? I have a lot of problems with. It's just. It feels like a show, Tom. That's what it feels like. It feels like we gave someone money to help us do a search, and ultimately he didn't do nothing. What did he do? He reached out and called somebody. I don't know, man. Listen, I want to take a deeper dive into it, Tone. I would love to hear your thoughts though, so I can kind of get a feedback on that. But my initial reaction is, why did we hire Trey? It's crazy. I believe, Tone, and I'm gonna throw it to you, but I just want to say this because you know how I feel. Jeff Hafley was definitely not my number one choice. I don't believe, Tone, that Jeff Hafley was the Dolphins' number one choice. I believe they settled on Jeff Hafley. That's what I believe. Now, Tone, when I listened to Troy Aikman, what he said was, the Dolphins had reached out to a lot of people, and ultimately, I guess the people must have turned the Dolphins. The Dolphins reached out to multiple people, right? And his name kept coming up. But it just feels like how we settled on Jeff Hafley because we couldn't ultimately get our number one guy. The Dolphins settled on Troy Aikman because they reached out to multiple people. Like Troy Aikman wasn't the top of their list. They didn't ultimately say, oh, Troy Aikman is the guy this is our guy. He's the one that's going to help us get our new general man, our head coach. No, he's a name that others brought up. And again, it could be the third, fourth, fifth. Hell, it could have been the ninth option. Who knows? It just feels like we settled. We settled on the head coach Tone. And now, according to what Troy Aikman said, it seems like we settled on him too. But I would love to hear your thoughts, bro, because I didn't like a lot of things that Troy Aikman said.
Well, so first thing first, bringing him in, and yes, you pointed out a great point that they didn't reach out to him first. They reached out. So from what we know, but coming out, from the outside coming in, the reports, Jimmy Johnson, we know was one of the people that they reached out to. And apparently he was the one that reached out that told them to reach out to Troy Aikman. So let's get that clear. So yes, you're saying it looked like they settled for Troy Aikman. I think they went on a search, and the guys that they were reaching out to, I'm trying to figure out why weren't these guys willing to work with them. That's the part that we need to ask. But they did reach and say, go ahead and reach out to Troy Aikman. And Troy Aikman, the major thing that I have concern with was when he said his first concern was he was asked about coaches, but never about GMs. Now, everyone, this is the part of the show that me and Lewis are going to separate. Because I know y'all thought I was going to agree with a lot of it. This is my problem. We both have major problems with this. My problem is not how Troy Aikman handled it. I'm going to explain that later. I'm going to tell y'all what my problem is. While they was reaching out to Jimmy Johnson and maybe other people, and they eventually settled on Troy Aikman, why in the world do Dan Marino still have a job for the Miami Dolphins? That's my major concern. That's what the big problem that I have. Why do Dan Marino have a job here? Now, when this first came off and said Troy Aikman came here, I knew, Lou, you also knew. This is why I'm not, I guess you mad at it. This is why I'm not really shocked at what he said. But I knew, which is what I wish my boy Kelvin was in here. I said, the problem with this is he's probably going to reach out to guys that he have a relationship with, that he believe are the best candidates for the Dolphins, right? Maybe some friends. So he's going to have a positive mindset or outlook of these guys in the first place. Now, is that a major problem? No, but that's a concern. Now, guess what? All of the fans, especially the people that we listen to, and if y'all come listen to us on X, when we run the space, shout out to Mystic. When Kelvin, and I forgot, Kelvin is the main one. And we were having questions about and wondering how these guys are so excited with Troy Aikman coming in. And they were like, they're going to use him for his connections. And, he's been on TV for all this amount of time. And my question was, well, do he have connections with the coaches and coordinators or GMs? Now, I'm aware that they have those little production meetings, and it comes out all the time how they were speaking to the coaches and the GMs, and they get to know the players more, and that's how they gather a lot of the information. How often do you hear them talking to GMs? That was my initial question to all of y'all. No one could answer that. No one, right? So when this comes out, I'm not surprised. I'm not, because this is what I thought was going to happen. The problem is, this is the part that I want y'all to peep out. He said, first of all, he had prior business with Tom Garfinkel. He had prior businesses with Tom Garfinkel. That means they went with another dude that they know. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but they said they wanted somebody with no connections. With connections outside of the building, with no connections inside the building. So if he did prior business with Tom Garfinkel, how is that a guy that have no connections with inside the building, within the building? That was a big lie. And you said something, Lou, that pointed out why. Because they initially started reaching out Jimmy Johnson and whoever they wanted to. Yeah, they didn't work with the people, but they was referring them to other people and other guys. You can't lie to me. I listen attentively because I know I'm going for what's best for the team. Let me preface this by saying Troy Aikman may have made the right pick. John Eric Sullivan, I think all of us, I don't think none of us have a problem with them hiring him. Am I correct? At least with Lou, right?
Right.
Why? He came from Green Bay. Green Bay seemed to know what they're doing. But my initial concern was, I don't need to hire no one from outside. Why do I have to outsource when I got Dan Marino? Because from the outside looking in, the first time, as soon as we fired Chris Greer, what did we say? We wanted someone either from the 49ers front office, Baltimore Ravens, Green Bay Packers, Kansas City Chiefs, Los Angeles Rams. The team that seemed to get it right, Pittsburgh Steelers. Why do I got to outsource for someone to figure that out? So you mean to tell me Dan Marino don't know no one inside the Green Bay front office that could recommend him to some guys that could be good recommendation? If so, why are you here? Now, there could be a scenario where Troy Aikman have different connections than Dan Marino. That's all fine. But then Dan Marino, I don't need you because you don't have the tools and the connections to get the job done. Because you also are a constant in the failures of this team. And the people they bring in and the type of players, the connections that you have, the front office hires. Why is Dan Marino here? I don't get it. 33 of y'all in the building, please hit the like, hit the subscribe. Y'all came to the right place.
Right? Now, Tony, real quick, because you brought up a question early, right? In your assessment. And by the way, I agree with a lot of what you're saying right now. You brought up the question, though, why didn't the other people that the Dolphins organization reached out to, why didn't they want to work with the Dolphins, right? That's what you brought up.
Yes.
And that's a very good question. And I also seen Von Joe in the chat when you asked that question. He said, now, Tone, that's what we need to talk about. And I want to have that conversation.
Okay.
I do want to have that conversation, Tone. I want to rebut that question, though, with another question. I want to put a question on top of that question you asked. Why was, if that's the case, because I know what the narrative is going to be, nobody wanted to work with Miami because their perceived notion is that the front office is a complete dumpster fire, right? Would you agree with that assessment?
For the most part, yeah. I don't know if that applies here, but yes, that's one could say that, yes.
Okay, cool. So would it be fair for me, on the other hand, to pose the question then? Why was Jeff Hafley, John Eric Sullivan, Troy Aikman, and the rest of them so willing to work with him?
Yes, you could pose that question as well. That would be a fair question.
And for me to answer that question, I would say the more reputable people that they reached out to that didn't want to work with them know the truth. And the people that are so willing to work with them are just happy to be in these positions that they are.
Could be.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, so it could be, and I won't. When you're right, right? See now, and that happens sometimes. I can't kill them for that. You are who you are. So now, this is one thing that I want to ask as well, because I know, especially you, Lou, you have a problem with what happened, how it happened, and what the Troy Aikman. So let's get into the Troy Aikman thing, because I think this is what I think, me and you, I just want to try to pick your brain a little bit. They used him for his contacts, right? He didn't necessarily use his contacts for the GMs. He was lost. Miami Dolphins, at that moment, you didn't need him. Because what he did, reached out to some people, did his homework, and then got some suggestions.
They could have did the same thing.
No one in the front office couldn't do that? You outsourced someone that had to go do homework on something that he wasn't sure. He said, my concern, this is his words, not mine. My very first concern was, I was always asked about coaches, never GMs. Why in the world did you move forward with them? Because you paid them. You paid them. I don't like if you have to pay Troy Aikman to do that and get those kind of connections, then I'm sorry. This is more about Dan Marino and the other people that they have in his front office that don't have enough connections to where you have to outsource. Now, Lou, when Troy Aikman did, bro, he literally did what they paid him to do. He used his sources, his connections, to reach out to someone to say, okay, what about this guy? Give me information on him. Give me information on him. Give me information. Okay, and then he brought in these candidates. Now, are we the candidates that were brought out? For the most part, they were all from the franchises that we would have liked for them to go get an outsource for or reach out to. So I don't think he did a bad job. They paid him to do a job. He did it to his best ability, and I think he did a damn good job of what he did. It just was, I knew this is what he was going to do. So I'm just saying, you didn't have to pay him for. Why you have to pay someone outside of the building for this? And if you have to do this, then I'm sorry. Dan Marino, your services are no longer required. Because while I have you in the building, I still got to outsource and pay someone to help me out with this GM search. For the connections. We already know Brendan Shore. What did he say? Oh, Jeff Hafley. He didn't say we went with Jeff Hafley. I'm sorry, John Eric Sullivan. He said John Eric Sullivan was hired. And then they called and asked me if I could stay on for the coaching search. And it's like I already said, they said who it was. Brendan Shore's choice who was going to be the new GM. That's who made the decision. So you mean to tell me, Dan Marino, you couldn't bring a bunch of people to Brendan Shore and the rest of Tom Garfinkel and Stephen Ross and I forgot the son name. You couldn't bring these people and let them make a choice? That to me, it's mind-boggling. But I'm not gonna kill Troy Aikman because I think I'm gonna be real. I think he did exactly what he was paid to do. All right, I mean, if y'all gonna pay me to go in there and ask someone what I think about these guys, then cool. I'm gonna do it. That's what I'm gonna do.
How do we know the people that Troy Aikman didn't reach out to didn't lie to him?
See, now that is the bigger question that we have to deal with because you had to hire a guy from the outside looking in. I believe 100%. When you go in and you say, just like I think it was Von Joe, and please, if it was someone, Steve or someone, y'all correct me in the chat or whatever. But I think he said when you brought up the situation with me, and you said, well, if you gonna reach out to me, and then I'm gonna give you candidates, my brother. That's part of your connections. That's part of. That's what I'm trying to figure out why Dan Marino didn't have these. That's part of your connections. Because yes, if it's a trucker rail, people know. Well, the people that's close to me know. I used to drive trucks. I had my own trucking company. So not only did I drive one, I owned one, a trucking business. I have a homeboy that still owns one. 2 of them now, matter of fact. So there's a lot of things that they know that I might not. Now, someone that knows me, and I'm the only one that they know about the trucking business, they be like, yo, what? Go holler at Tone. And they ask me for certain things to look for. Guess what I'm going to do? If I don't know it, hey, yo, E, come in, let me holler at you. You know why? Because I trust E. Now, what they have to understand or figure out is, are the people that Troy Aikman's reaching out to, are they trustworthy that they're going to give him their honest critique of these people or their honest assessments? Because I was already skeptical and say he's gonna hire the people he cool with.
Well, Tone, let me ask you this, right? And this is what I want people to understand. We're talking about him reaching out to connections. Okay, cool. Now stay with me for a minute. How long has John Eric Sullivan been with Green Bay?
20 years.
Where do you think Troy Aikman called to find out about John Eric Sullivan?
Either one of the coaches that he had connections with, if he knew someone in the building, but he just called over there in Green Bay.
Do you think anybody in Green Bay was going to talk bad about John Eric Sullivan?
And that's the problem right there.
Like, what are we talking about here? He reached out to people that was going to spit sweet nothings about the guys he's asking questions about.
But this is the difference, Lou. This is the difference when I'm saying the connections. Because this isn't from my outside thinking it. I don't think Troy Aikman went in there and asked questions specifically about John Eric Sullivan. He probably reached out to someone in there and they were like, well, John Eric, the assistant, he really good at this job. I work with him a lot. You might want to look into him. Right? Because remember when they went to San Fran, they got 2 people from out of that front office. So those people, I think the recommendations could have been, hey, listen, these are 2 guys that I know that I trust are good candidates for that job. But it's still, from what I say, my stand from people that whoever his connection is, they're cool with them and they feel like they're good for that job. And they may as well be. But to your point, those people are not, they're going to recommend people that they're cool with. And you're not going to hear the negative about the people that they're cool with. You understand? So I believe that's the one part of the connection where at least I have someone on the inside that I can tell me, well, these are the two people. If you're going to ask for here, these are the people that I recommend you talk to and see if you like them. As opposed to if you're on the outside looking in, you just going in there and you asking questions about certain individuals. But for me, and this is maybe me, common sense tells me, I'm going to ask about the scouting guys. I'm going to ask about the assistant guys and everyone that works with whoever the GM is over there. So John Eric Sullivan, he was the assistant. I'm asking about him. He came up they had the guideline that they wanted to follow with the people that they wanted to bring in. And guess what? John Eric Sullivan fell under all of those categories. Player personnel experience and scouting. It don't take rocket science to say, okay, well, I need to look into this guy as well. Because I can Google how we found out what John Eric Sullivan was. We Googled it.
We Googled it.
So anyone could do that. Same thing with the 49ers. You could Google those guys and see what connections they have, where did they start. Now your connections are, well, how good are they? What is the type of impact that they made in that certain area? Were they a big voice or a small voice?
Yeah, but
then you have to trust that they being honest with you.
Yeah, but again, I'm not even saying they're not being honest with you. But the only connection to John Eric Sullivan is Green Bay.
Right.
So what I'm telling you, there is nothing. What are people that have worked with this man for 20 plus years gonna say that's bad about him? Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, of course.
Even if he's not capable of doing the job.
Like him, but
Well, again, Tone, what I'm saying is, even if he's not capable of doing his job, you think they're going to tell the Dolphins that?
Not necessarily.
You think they're going to tell Troy Aikman, hey, the phone rings. Hey, ring, hello? Hey, this is Troy Aikman. I'm trying to find out about John Eric Sullivan, dog. Woo, 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 woo. You think the response coming out of there is going to be, hey, Troy, yeah, this guy sucks, bro. He don't know what the hell he's doing. We've been carrying him for 20 plus years. They ain't going to tell Troy Aikman that. It's going to be glowing reviews. And all I'm saying is now Troy Aikman comes back and he's like, well, I did my homework. Yeah, I like John Eric Sullivan. Why? Because someone told you he's good? Nah, bro, stop. Y'all can believe this shit if y'all want to. I'm sorry. This is bro, it's fugazi. It's fraud. There's nothing. I know what people are trying to say. It's all about connections. Some connections are not always the right thing to do. Like if you tell me we're hiring Troy Aikman to do a job, do your job. I understand what Tony's saying. What you expected this. This is what you expect. I didn't expect this. This is what I'm saying, Tone. Everything that we read, it didn't say that he was having to call people to find out because he didn't know nothing about these guys. Everything that the Dolphins media put out, everything the Dolphins put out, everything was like, oh, Troy Aikman is going to cook this, that, and the third. Tony, we just played the clip. The man said he had reservations because he didn't know nothing about no general managers. He said that. So what I'm saying is, I understand, no, the expectation wasn't, that's where I agree with you. Anybody could have did what he did. What did we hire him for?
Well,
we didn't need him, but for the perception of what? For the perception of what? Perception?
No, not for the perception. I'm going to say for the connection. So the difference is, so what you're saying is, and I get from your standpoint is, you're looking at like everybody is going to say nothing but good things about them, and for the most part, yes, a lot of people that's what they do. But see, now if I look at it from my standpoint, let's say you come to me and ask me about some stuff, and it's somebody that I rock with. Right? I'm gonna tell you the good and the bad.
Tone, real quick though. Look. Von Joe says, so a person in Dallas is going to tell about a guy in Green Bay. What the fuck is Lewis talking about? Well, let me explain to you what I'm talking about. What the fuck does a guy in Dallas know about John Eric Sullivan? John Eric Sullivan ain't never been in Dallas. Is this what people think? Do you think a front office in Dallas knows other guys and is word on a day-to-day basis and knowing what's going on in Green Bay's front office? Is that what y'all think? Please tell me that's not what you think. I'm just using that as an example, Tone, because that's what the man said. So a person in Dallas, you think Troy Aikman called a front office member in Dallas to find out about John Eric Sullivan, a guy that has spent 20 years in Green Bay? Is that what you're telling me? Tone, am I wrong? Is that not what he said?
Well, that part I was kind of confused of what he was asking. Is going to tell about a guy in Green Bay. I'm not sure.
He's basically saying that, let's say Troy Aikman called someone in Dallas to find out. That's one of his connections. Well, what the hell does the guy in Dallas know about a guy that has spent 20 years in Green Bay? And a guy, Tone, matter of fact, now that we're going to get technical, John Eric Sullivan is just a scout. He's not a general manager. He hasn't done nothing for general manager. So you think, okay, cool. You think people in Dallas know about the assistant general manager in Green Bay? Is that what I'm supposed to believe?
No, but I think so. I think from the Troy Aikman standpoint, I think he's had production meetings with head coaches in that building.
Oh, no. No, Tom, my bad. He clarified real quick. He says that's what I'm saying. You call Green Bay to find out about a guy in Green Bay, and that's my point. The people in Green Bay is not telling you anything bad about John Eric Sullivan. I know Tone is what Tone was about to say. Well, Lou, if you call me about some place, I'm going to tell you the good and the bad. That's Tone.
I'll tell you the truth about it.
Well, again, I know. Well, Tone, I'm going to be honest, right? And I think there's people in this world you are, I don't want to say one of a kind, but you are far and few between the people that is really walking in this world.
Understandable.
You know what I'm saying? In that corporate world where it's cutthroat, where everybody is trying to just, again, in a connection based, in a friendship based, Green Bay, bro, I'm sorry. If Von Joe thinks the people in Green Bay were going to tell anything bad about Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan, he's lost his damn mind. And that is just the facts, bro.
Yeah, so, and that could be, which is why you got to use all of the stories about all of the people that you bring in, and then you see which one that you like the most. Because if they tell you all the good things about them, you still can draw a conclusion from the things that they said. We're like, well, okay, he made that decision. You know, as long as it's real things that he's done, which I don't think people is going to lie about him doing things that he didn't do. That's where it can become bad. But if they say, well, you know, he had a big part in this decision right here. He was one of the major components of this. He was the one that bought this guy. He was the one that scouted him and bought this. You know, they could tell him the little paper trails of things that we wouldn't know from the outside looking in, and you'd be like, okay, he had all that. Now you have to know and have common sense to say, well, that's all the good stuff. I will have to figure out the bad on my own. But it's just like with anyone else or anyone that comes in and do the interviews, they're selling themselves to you. So you have to go in always expect this. Now, this is something that you said that I want you to understand why we so far apart about this. Because you say you didn't expect this from Troy Aikman. My brother, this is exactly what I expected. And the reason why, you have reasons why, or to know why I expected this, is because that's why I was asking the Kelvins of the world, well, how many GMs do you think Troy Aikman spoke to while he was up there broadcasting and commentating?
Well,
I already know, bro, he don't have inside connection. Go ahead.
No. I'm saying I'm with you there, but that's not what we were sold. I got to go by what we were told.
No, but I mean, I just think they said they used him for his connections. I don't think they said he had direct connections to GMs. So when I heard that they used him for the connections, I'm like, well, common sense telling me I'm watching Troy Aikman, and I'm from the outside looking in, and I'm like, but I know the job that he do. I watch the interviews that not only Troy Aikman, but every broadcast that broadcast football and every channel. I know when they do their production meetings, it's more coaches, coordinators, and players.
Tone, you remember when them tweets were coming out though that said Troy Aikman would be a major role and part in picking the general manager and head coach? You remember when them tweets were coming out?
Yes.
That it didn't say nothing about using him just for his connections.
But
he was playing a big part.
Though. That's what I'm saying.
No
one had to tell me that. Listen, no one had to tell me that using his connections. So this is what I'm thinking. And maybe this is what me and you are confused. When you thought the connections, did you thought the connections was actual GMs? Because that's not what I thought when I heard.
No. Remember, we brought up, me and you said he didn't have no connection when we were arguing with people like Kelvin and others and telling them he didn't have no connection with GMs. But what I thought was, okay, you might not have connections with GMs, but you're going to have connection with, again, to your point, coaches, assistant coaches, this, that, and the third. And if you want to, again, eventually you got to do your homework plus two. Like, connection, like when he said he made some phone calls and then he did his homework. That's all he had to do from the jump, Tom. He didn't have to talk to nobody, though. What I'm saying is we knew the candidates that were available for upcoming GM jobs. We know them.
No, I don't. We didn't. We knew the franchises we wanted them to go seek and.
Well, if me and you know that, Tone, you don't think Troy Aikman knows that?
Yes, he does. So that's why when he went in, he was like, okay, well, I know I built a great rapport with this guy out in Green Bay, and that's a great franchise, and that might be someone that they would be interested. I mean, that might be a franchise that they may be interested in poaching someone off that front office. So guess what? Let me use my connects that I have inside the building and get the inside scoop on these guys and say, well, tell me something that that we don't know, and why would you think that he's a great candidate? Because I know it's going in to do that. That's why I was saying, well, why did DeMarino don't do that? Like, he don't know no one in Green Bay? Not a coach. Not like, why are you sitting up in this? Like, for real, how are you going to advise these people if the only thing you know is about the Miami Dolphins? Huh? How do we get them in the building? So when they said that about they were going to use Troy Aikman's connections, my whole thing was, okay, he's going to use the people that he knows that's in the building and get information on potential candidates.
I'll tell you a reason why they didn't want to put Dan Marino in that position for the same reason, that everybody in the chat, specifically Cat for Life and others, is saying that they don't want to, because Dan Marino is just a face. He's one of ours, Tom. Right? Yeah. That's what Dan Marino is. And you know why they hired Troy Aikman? Because when this shit fails, the Dolphins are the best PR team. You know what? I'm going to get tinfoil hat time, Tone. We've been talking about this enough, and I just can't hold my mouth no more. Troy Aikman is the next fall guy. Mark my words. Because when this doesn't, when this, what you mean how? Again, I know what you're going to say, not for you. And that's cool for you. For everybody else. For all.
Oh, Aikman clipped him, y'all. Troy Aikman clipped him. Well, okay, he back. Aikman got him up out of here, y'all.
Hey man, I started talking about the Dolphin PR team, and them boys got me up out of here quick. Them boys.
Before you had on, clip.
Boy, they got me up out of here real quick. No, all I'm saying is, Tone, he's the next fall guy, dog. That's what it is. And again, I already know my brother. My brother's gonna say, well, not for me, because I'm a whole. Yeah, that again, Tone. I told you, you're one of a kind.
But I'm not gonna say enough for me though.
What were you gonna say? I know you ain't gonna say about all these other people.
No.
All these other people are gonna fall for it, just like they.
How are they gonna make Troy Aikman a fall guy. They
Well,
can't fire him.
no. I don't mean a fall guy like that. But again, to point the finger and blame, the reason Sully's here is because Troy Aikman told us to bring him in.
No.
Oh, the reason Jeff Halfley's here is because Troy Aikman was the one. Tone, trust me, bro. I know how this thing works.
But that's not the truth. I mean, unless they're gonna go,
They're gonna paint the picture like that.
I mean, you can't make a fall guy when it's out in the open. Who brought them in here? Brandon Shaw. Troy Aikman uses connection to get them in the building, but Brandon Shaw that was his decision. Now, at the end of the day, we know how this works. Okay, well, someone was going to have to go out and outsource and bring in candidates.
But you're asking why the Dolphins, no one in their building did it. And you know why? Because again, they don't, well, I'm telling you, Tone, the reason Dan Marino didn't do it, the reason Brandon Shore didn't do it, the reason Stephen Ross or whoever else, nobody did it because they don't want to blame themselves. So when this fails, all they're going to do is turn, well, it's true. But Tone, you can say, come on. But when 2 years down the line, when it happens, I want you to tell me, Lewis, come on. Because it is what it is. They're going to blame Troy Aikman, bro. They're going to come out and paint the picture of, well, it was Troy Aikman's guy and this, that, and the third. And I'm not saying you're going to fall for it, Tone. And I'm not saying I'm going to fall for it. But Cat for Life is going to fall for it. Von Joe is going to fall for it. Kelvin is going to fall for it. That's what I'm telling you. So don't sit here and try to paint me like I don't know. Tone, bro, we've seen this. How many other folks? Well, again, I know it's a cute. I know it's a cute story.
Bringing in Brian Flores.
Hey, Tone. Well, Chris Greer, was it not? Didn't they say that was a Chris Greer guy
in the building?
Well, again, but I'm talking about now, and people wanted Chris Greer out. All I'm saying is, you watch. We'll see how it turns out.
Because if Troy Aikman isn't the one making the decisions. Right? Because let me explain something to you. Because you're making it seem like it's a one-way street. They're going to blame Troy Aikman and the fall guy, and it stops there. I'm sorry, my brother. This is the real life. It don't stop there. Because Troy Aikman has more cameras, more connections than every last one of them. And he can literally just come on and turn on the camera and say, no, I brought y'all the candidates, y'all chose them. So you can't make him the fall guy. It don't work like that. He doesn't. Literally, Brandon Shaw was the head of that. I did not hire them. I gave y'all the candidates, gave my suggestions, and y'all made the decisions. That's clear. Boom. And that, I'm no longer your fall guy. So I don't see how there's no way possible they can make him the fall guy. No way. Troy Aikman is not going to kill his brand for the Dolphins. No. I don't work for y'all. Y'all reached out to me because y'all didn't have connections. I gave y'all a couple candidates. You didn't have to go with neither one of them. And that's what it is.
They have connections though. And again,
they might do, but they can't make Troy Aikman the fall guy, is what I'm saying. Troy Aikman have a mouth for himself. You think Troy Aikman gonna sit back and say and accept that?
No. Well, again, but I didn't say he wasn't going to sit here and accept it. Yeah, he'll come out and say no, this, that, and the third. That's cool. Now it's his story versus theirs. All I'm saying is our fan base will fall for it.
I mean, if the fan base fall for it, then we can't do nothing about it.
I'm not saying we can. What I'm saying is it's the same thing. It's wash, recycle, repeat, or however that saying goes. It is what it is. Tone, nobody believed Brian Flores can be the fall guy until he was made the fall guy.
I don't think about that. I think everybody knows.
No?
Nah, when the head coach get fired, we already know they're going to say that, he's going to be the fall guy.
And again, but was he? This is my point. We know, but was he the fall guy? In your opinion, was Brian Flores the fall guy?
I don't know what you said. A fall guy. When you say, I mean, they told the reason that he fired him, and he admitted to the reason that they fired him. What they fired him for?
Again, what did they fire?
It had nothing to do with his coaching. It was not.
Tone, they came out and said for the last 7 weeks of the final season that Flores coached, they said for the last 7 weeks that man didn't talk to not one single person in the building. You believe that?
I don't know if I believe that, sir. I don't even remember who said that, but I mean,
Well, no, that's what everybody said. That's
right,
what everybody said, Tone.
But there were stories that they warned that he wasn't getting along with a lot of people. There were.
Let me ask you this, Tone. In his last 7 games, the man was, or 8 games, the man was 7-1.
Yes.
Do you believe one man can run the whole thing, the whole operation?
Yeah, but you under the assumption just because they weren't on a speaking basis that they didn't still do their job. I've been months, bro. The person that I work directly, that she worked directly under to me, bro, I go months without talking to her because she get on my nerves. We still do our job.
Mm-hmm.
She still know I don't like her.
Do you
she
think?
Knows it.
I
still get our job done.
And again, I understand. Do you think one man can win 7 straight NFL games without talking to a single person?
No, but I also don't think Brian Flores did that by himself. I just think they won on the speaking terms.
I'm telling you, but that's what the narrative was.
No, the narrative was that they weren't talking. So listen, you do your job, I do my job. You know what? You know who else? What's having turmoil on this side? Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. They still got a job done.
Yeah, but they were having issues. Never once did they say they weren't talking to each other.
Well, we don't know how far it went. Now, there are stories that came out that Tom Brady went months without talking to anyone, including
I don't remember that story.
Teddy Bruschi said it.
Well, again, I'm just saying I never heard it.
Okay.
This is the first time I'm hearing that Tom Brady went weeks, months at a time without talking to a single person. This is the first time I'm hearing it.
Teddy Bruschi literally said it on the story. When him and Bill Belichick gets into it, you know Tom Brady is not talking to no one for months or weeks, probably months.
What I'm saying is, I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you I didn't hear it. I'm not saying you're lying. So I'm just saying I didn't hear that.
Did you hear the story though? How Bill Belichick would get on Tom Brady though.
Absolutely.
Now, did you also hear the story of when Bill Belichick and Tom Brady start not seeing eye to eye because he was bringing in Jimmy Garoppolo and Matt Castles? You remember?
I heard the stories of Tom Brady being upset when Bill Belichick went in that front office and said, "I want to trade Tom Brady." I don't think Tom Brady had a problem with bringing in Jimmy Garoppolo or Sam Castle or Matt Castle or anybody else. Tom Brady had a problem when, after a 16-year career and 6 Super Bowls, you trying to trade me and get me the hell up out of here. Yeah, I got a problem then.
No,
Tom. Tom,
bringing him in.
No, you're wrong on that.
All right,
you're wrong on that.
No.
No. I'm just telling you. The problem was when Belichick. Again, the real issues is when Belichick
took Jimmy Garoppolo out the building.
Yes, after Belichick said, "I want to move off of Brady and have Garoppolo as my starter." Yes.
Nah, bro.
Yes, it was. Tone, yes, it was.
Now that's what I never heard of.
I'm telling you what it is. I'm telling you what it is.
Come on, nah.
Okay. All right.
Nah.
Are you trying to tell me that the day they drafted Jimmy Garoppolo, Tom Brady went in there and said, "I want this guy gone"? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I don't think. No.
So what you telling me?
No. I'm telling you that no. Bill Belichick did not go in there and say, "I want this guy gone."
Have you?
No.
You know what?
No,
cool.
He did not. But you can't tell. Listen, you're one of the ones you could tell me.
You mean to tell me you didn't hear the stories about you trying to tell me you didn't hear the stories about Brady or Belichick saying, "I want Tom Brady gone so I can go move on with other people"? Is that what you're telling me?
With Jimmy Garoppolo? No.
All right.
No. Now I know that he wanted just to have a quarterback and waiting just in case they move on for Tom Brady. Yes, obviously. But to say Bill Belichick going in there telling him, "I want to move off of Tom Brady for Jimmy Garoppolo," no.
That's what the stories were, Tone.
Never heard of it. I never heard that one. No. Heard the stories about him and Tom Brady not liking this guy because that could be possibly his successor. But nah.
Okay. All right.
No, sir. Right. No. And at the end of the day, they couldn't get along. They had to pick one. And we know who you should have picked. They picked the wrong one. We know how the story ends. But at the end of the day, from us and our standpoint, it don't matter of who they try to make the fall guy. Because in this situation, you cannot put that on Troy Aikman. Nah, he's not going to allow it. So the tinfoil, that's cool.
I bet you they will, though. They'll try. You can say they won't, but they'll try. I bet you that.
I never say they won't. I'm like, you can't make them. Tom Brady is not going to sit there. I mean, Troy Aikman is not going to sit there. You say, oh, that was Troy's guy.
Never once did I say Troy Aikman wouldn't push back against the narrative. That's not what I said. I never once said that.
Well,
I'm talking about the Dolphins.
Fall guy if somebody push back on it, you can't make him the fall guy.
We'll see.
You can't.
We'll see.
They can say that with Brian Flores.
Okay, we'll see.
He doesn't have the platforms like Troy Aikman.
All right, we'll see.
But Troy, no, come on, bro. Especially with it already out there. Troy on every time he get, I brought the guys to them and they made the decision. He's been saying that this whole time.
Yeah.
So, fall guy where?
We'll see.
Mystic said Flores sued the league. Laugh my what? Mystic, you know why he sued the league? Not because the Dolphins made him a fall guy, my brother. He sued the league because of what happened in the Giants. And then he brought up what happened with John Elway in Denver. Had nothing to do with what the Miami Dolphins said. We talk about fall guys here. No. But anyways, I do want to point out, I'm not saying it's going to fail. You know, like my co-host over here. When it fails, y'all hear me. He said it like 13 times. When it fails, I'm going to come back. I want you to tell me. No. I'm saying, am I in agreement with how they moved? No, I didn't like that. But when they made the decision to hire Troy Aikman, did I understand exactly what he was going to do in order to bring them candidates? Yes, which is why I had a problem with them having to outsource him when you have Demarino in the building. But I'm not going to sit here and act like I did not assume he was going to use his connections, call people in there and say, okay, let me get these, okay, this, all right, based on what I heard, go ahead and reach out to this guy. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is what I assumed that happened. Now, listen, it may work, it may not work. What I am going to say is, I'm going to judge. I'm not going to blame Troy Aikman for the Dolphins making the wrong decision. No, I'm not doing it.
Okay.
Nah. Yeah,
and that's what I said. And that's what I said. Tony won't. We'll address this when it happens, and we'll address how many people will blame Troy Aikman. I'll bring it up.
I mean, it's a bunch of foods, bro. You know what? It's a bunch of food. Bring them up. Feel free to bring all that up, because then, you know what I'm saying, I would say, you know what, I agree with you, Louis. Some of these people, hey, well, you know, they need a mind of their own. Listen, man, I kind of figured that was going to go for a long period of time. Y'all make your own decisions on whether y'all feel like it was the right decision that the Dolphins made or not. I would say I didn't see no reason for them to have to outsource someone when Demarino is in the building. And the minute is the reason why I got first time here, ? Because the minute he said, well, you know, I didn't assume y'all was going to ask me about head coaches. I was well prepared to give y'all head coaching because I have personal, you get what I'm saying, relationships with them. Now, when they said GM, I'm like, well, hold on. Let me go do some research. Let me go make some calls. Let me go figure this out. Now, the biggest question is, how do they not understand that in the first place? I don't get it, man. I saw it coming. Maybe, like Lou said, maybe I just see things and understand things that other people don't. But I knew exactly what was going to happen when they brought him in. So, hey, it is what it is.
You think Troy Aikman? Real quick, Tom. Quick question: when Troy Aikman sat there in that interview that you played, and he said, "I had a trepidation. I was worried at first." Do you think he told the Dolphins he was worried?
I don't know if he said he was worried. I think he said, "Well, give me some minute. Let me make some phone calls, and I'll get back to you." I think that's what he did.
Oh, okay, all right.
Right? No man in their right mind is going to go up there and say, "Hey, man, I'm worried." Yo, yeah, listen, nah, I don't think so. And being the type, we finding out that he had a relationship with Tom Garfinkel, in the business, and I think it was you and Von Joe say that it was with the Formula One. So I'm quite,
A friendship with Tom Garfinkel.
yeah, business relationship or
Okay.
friendship. You got to be done with that. And I don't think, I mean, that's a big. Listen, I've never listen when I make my decisions. I really don't. I could care less. I'm going to the people that I believe in, right? That's just how I do. I reach out to the people I know. I'm gonna trust in the people that they know. I don't care who the other people know, because that's just not what I care about. I want people in my circle, and I'm gonna pick the best person for my circle. I would never, and I don't understand why people want to do that. I would never want to outsource and go to someone that I have no relationship, no understanding about, and the only thing I go off is by a resume and how they interview. No, I'd rather get as much inside information about this person first before I work with them, because I have a specific thing, specific way that I want to move, and I want to conduct my business, and I need someone that also understands that. Be honest with you. I don't need no one that's just gonna, because we don't want friendships and we want people that push back. I also don't want someone that's just gonna push back because they think they know more than me. They think they have a better vision than me, and they don't respect my vision because they feel like they're better than me. I also don't want that either. So in some situations, he may be more qualified, but not qualified to work with me. I'm sorry. That's not how it works. It's just it is what it is. This is how business are operated. We just hopefully, they made the right decision. But yeah, that it is what it is. Listen, there's still 33 of y'all in the building. Hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, help grow the channel. This is where you get the healthy debates. And as you see, we stand on our square. I know every last one of y'all that was in that space thought me and Lou was going to agree on that topic. Now, we agree in principle, but my disagreement is with why they did what they did with Troy Aikman, and Dan Marino is there, and Lou just like
I don't like none of this, to be honest with you. Nah.
Hey, but yes, listen, y'all let us know in the chat, man. We should have had things. We should have had a poll in there, but listen. On to the next topic, Lou. We already spent an hour over this, right? So, hold on, let me set the stage for y'all. Boom. Bobby Slowik. Now I went back and listened to the press conference. So, because I don't typically like to lean to what people tell me. I want to go hear it for myself. And Slowik, from what everyone was telling me, said that he believed Tua could have a bounce back season, and he appreciates the way that he handled it, and that's what he was impressed by, right? Oh man, I lost Lou again. Whoa. Okay. Well, let me talk to the chat until Lewis come back. So, here we go. There go Lou. So Slowik was speaking on, the things about Tua. I want to give y'all the real what happened. The real thing was what happened was he did not come out and volunteer that he think Tua could have a bounce back season. He was asked specifically. The first question was about Tua's mindset and everything that he went through, and what was he tasked with moving forward. And that's the part when he said it's too early in the situation, in the situation, to even speak on what decision that he was going to make and how he's going to move forward. And then he proceeded to give things that he was impressed by. I would say the way he handled it, I was impressed by that. And that, the way he treated his teammates and the way he treated everyone around him, he felt like he handled that professionally. And he was impressed by it. Then it was a follow-up that was, I think, Alan Poopa asked him that question. I'm sorry, I don't know. But then there was a follow-up question by Omar Kelly Shout out to Omar. Omar been asking these crazy questions lately, so we got to give him credit when credit is due. And he said, do you believe that Tua can bounce back? This is why he answered it like that. Because he was asked that specifically. He didn't say, well, looking at what he did and, based on my assessment, I believe Tua can bounce back. No, y'all had me feeling like that's what that man said. And I'm ready to get rid of the whole coaching staff, the front office, and the owner as well. They asked him that. And he proceeded to mention, which I think this was a PR stunt, a PR answer, how players in the league, and these are the greatest athletes in the league, and you have these stories all over the place that players bounce back. It happens all the time. And then at the end, he said, so yeah, I believe he have the capability of bouncing back. But you know what he also didn't say? What he didn't say? He didn't say with this team. He didn't say we're going to bounce back here. He mentioned players everywhere else. I think that was more of a telltale sign there. Yeah, it could be somewhere. Yeah, he could bounce back. This happened over here. I.e., example, Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold bounced back. He ain't bounced back with the Jets, though. But he bounced back. Great story. Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield bounced back. He didn't bounce back with Cleveland. Over there in Tampa. Amazing story. To a lesser extent, Geno Smith bounced back. He didn't bounce back in New York. Bounced back in Seattle. Comeback player of the year. It wasn't with the franchise, the same franchise that drafted him. So just because the man said, yeah, he believed he could bounce back, doesn't mean he believed he could bounce back with this team. Now, I have to keep the same energy. If they trying to get him to bounce back with this team, then I'm lighting them on fire. But I'm not going to blindly listen to that and say, well, it seemed like he was talking about bouncing back with the Dolphins. Because he bounced around that when they asked him, was he tasked with the mindset and how he was going to move forward? He didn't seem like he was willing. If someone that felt like Tua would bounce back for this team, he would have came out and be like, oh, yeah, absolutely. We talked about this and we're going to handle this and this is how we're going to move forward. When they start speaking of players and they start being PC and making sure they say the right things, it could be something else. Now, what did y'all expect him to say? Did y'all expect him to go out there and say no? Did anyone in their right mind expect him to go up there and say no? Because I think we still holding our hope that maybe we could trade him. Someone. Do it behoove the Miami Dolphins to talk bad about Tua? Or should they prop him up to be the best that they can to try to up his value? If they want to trade him. I'm not saying 100%, but they better. I'm just saying they better get him off the team. Like I said, the only 10% chance of him being back, and that's only because of the contract, and he better be practice squad, on the bench, third quarterback. And I'm still going to be mad at this franchise, this front office, and the coaching staff if he's still on this team. Because I don't see the benefit of having him on this team at all. I don't care about the contract. You gotta pay it regardless. So no. But when it comes to the bouncing back, yeah. He might be bouncing back somewhere else. I see a lot of things that he could bounce back. It happens everywhere. I will be doing the same thing as I was up there. Yeah, it happens all around the league. All of our players bounce back all the time. I don't see the reason for you to mention the bounce backs of players everywhere else if you believe that Tua was going to bounce back here. Or if you intend for him to have his bounce back season in this building. So that was my take on it. Lou, I don't know. Do you want to give your spiel of what you thought about it?
Yeah. Again, you're spot on. That's what he was supposed to do. We often hear in the rumors that the Dolphins are looking to possibly trade Tua Tagovailoa. If Bobby Slowik comes out there and when the question is asked to him, if he comes out and says, "No, I don't believe Tua can bounce back. I think Tua's trash, this, that, and the third," what team would want to trade for him? I think, Tone, you were spot on. What I think is crazy though is how quickly some people forget. Because the people that love Tua, they come out and say, "Well, did you hear what Bobby Slowik said today?" And they automatically run with Tua's coming back. And oh, look, Bobby Slowik said Tua can compete. Tone, about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, this is the same Bobby Slowik that said of one Quinn Ewers' football, it don't take at
Oh
least
yes.
remember when Bobby Slowik was shooting shots at Tua?
Yeah, I
You
forgot
remember
about
that?
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Now this is the same dude that they want to believe wants Tua in the building, but he was when Tua was there, he was talking shit about Tua Tagovailoa on the podium.
Mm.
He was the one saying that Quinn Ewers had a better football, that he threw with more velocity. He could be late on a certain read or
And
whatever
he
and
still
still
did that.
deliver the football. That was Bobby Slowik that said that. So how quickly people forget when they're just all about their Tua's gonna come back to compete. No, he ain't. This is procedure of what coaches are supposed to do. Yeah, when we're trying to sell a player, we're gonna big up a player. It is what it is. It's common practice. Nah, Tone, I don't make nothing of the Bobby Slowik, what he said. I think it's coach speak. I think he said exactly what he's supposed to say. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, and for anyone that's looking into that and automatic assuming that that means that Tua is going to be on his team, I think that's more coming from a Tua's fan perspective than an objective perspective, because at the end of the day, they're saying everything that they're supposed to say. Now, until someone come out and say, "Oh yeah, Tua is going to compete," then I'm not going to assume that he's going to compete. I'm going to just assume that they're going to see and realize and understand what Tua has been since he's been here. And I'm just saying me. I gave this story to y'all way back episodes ago. Remember when I gave y'all a story about years ago when I was young and I was working for Lowe's and we got the store manager fired? And that new store manager called me in the office because, and we had a conversation because he heard that I was one of the people and he wanted to keep around. But I had an issue where he was firing people. I felt like he was firing people for no reason. He just found any reason to fire people. And he hit me. He said, now let me ask you a question. Pretend that you're in my shoes. And when you get hired for this job, the reason that you got hired for the job because the last guy got fired, they got rid of him. And you're coming in here to be the boss of the same people that got the last guy fired. What would you think about them people? Would you be happy and enthusiastic about working with those people? Or would you be trying to figure out, okay, let me see what kind of people that I need to get out this building because obviously they don't respect authority. See, you got to look at it from that perspective. That's why most times when GMs or head coaches go in, they bring in their own guys. I don't know what that other guy saw in you. I know what I see in people, and I'm going to trust me because I didn't get fired from my last job. The one who was here did. I'm technically getting a promotion. So I'm going to do things the way that I've been doing that got me here. So I'm just going to assume that Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan are smart enough to understand that Tua didn't only get one coach fired, he got two. Well, let me not say Tua got fired, but two coaches got fired when Tua was as the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. When Tua what's the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins? Well, he still is. Two coaches got fired, and a GM got fired. Now, ask yourself this as fans, and I know the two nears probably aren't going to be honest with themselves. Do y'all think Tua, that contract and the performance, do y'all think that had a major part in why Chris Greer got fired? I'm just asking. Could be.
Yeah, I would say yes. But the question is, did Chris Greer want to give him the contract?
That's another question. I'm just saying. From the outside looking in, if I'm a GM or I'm a head coach, no. I saw him have a problem with a coach and Brian Flores that was a tough coach. And he couldn't deal with it. And now the word coming out the building is he went up there and said either him or me. Now, if I'm Jeff Hafley, and I'm out here telling all of these fans on every interview that I take that I'm going to be tough on these guys, they're not going to like what I say sometimes. They're not going to like how hard they have to practice. But I hope that they understand that this is what's required for them to be successful. And if they can't deal with that, then they're not going to be good for the Dolphins. They won't be here. Ask yourself that question. Does Tua fall under that person that's going to be here? Now, either Jeff Hafley is lying to us, or Tua is not the type of person that he sees that could take his type of coaching. I'm just saying. I'm not just saying, oh, he's not going to be back because I don't like him. No. I'm just trying to see. Have y'all been listening to the interviews? Have y'all? Now, I pointed out to my coach. I say, Lou, hey, listen. Yeah, he was on Joe Rose. I would listen to him in the morning. And he said, I don't know what y'all call a player coach, but I know a lot, these players are not going to like the way I push them, the way I talk to them, and how difficult I'm going to make their practices for them. Now, Lou just pointed out these people like to have revisionist history. The last one had that man question his ability to play football. And that was before the concussions.
Yeah, but in the same breath, that last one also had them people in the building working with their feelings, saying he wasn't working well where others need.
Yeah, that's who?
He had the same people in that front office and coaching staff saying that he wasn't working well with them neither.
Who? Brian Flores?
Yeah. That same guy, Brian Flores, had that same message. And when Brian Flores was trying to uphold that message, the front office seemed like they didn't want that.
Yeah, but come on, like, let's not just blatantly. Let's not just say that. And
but that is a fact, though, Tom.
Isn't that the same guy that cost them draft picks and for them to get caught for illegally tampering? That's the same guy.
Absolutely. But again, I didn't blame
style.
But I'm not blaming Stephen Ross. But I want him to cheat.
But I'm just saying, Hafley probably ain't. Well, I don't know what he is. All I'm saying is it wasn't how hard and tough he was on tour while they got rid of him. No. That money that fell into Tank and refusing to go on that boat.
And all that is fair. I think the biggest one, though, is Tua. Is all I'm saying. And I think without tanking, right? Because he didn't tank the first year. They kept him for another 2 years. So I don't think the tanking was as big of an issue as what you're trying to make it out to be.
No, I didn't say what the big. How much emphasis did I put on it?
Well, I'm not. Well, you're right. You didn't put no emphasis. I'll put an emphasis on. I think the real reason Brian Flores was fired was because of Tua Tagovailoa. Because I believe if Tua Tagovailoa, at the time of him walking into that office and saying, it's him or me, if that stipulation don't come across that desk, I think Brian Flores was coming back for year 4. That's what I believe.
You believe that?
Oh, absolutely. I think the ultimatum was done, and I think from an organizational standpoint, they chose Tua, all of them involved, over Brian Flores. But I think if that knock at that door never happened, and Tua doesn't say it's him or me, I think Brian Flores is not fired when he was. That's what I believe.
You don't think that it has something to do with him going back and forth with the GMs and the owner and telling them that they don't know shit? You don't think it had nothing to do with
Again,
that?
I think there's a lot of factors. What I'm saying is, Tone, I think Tua is the biggest factor, and I think, and again, I could be wrong. I'm just giving you my opinion. I think they worked through all that shit because, again, when you listen to what they said when Brian Flores was fired, they didn't mention that coaching at all. I think Brian Flores had been in the building multiple times already saying, "You guys don't know shit." They weren't firing him. I
Mhm.
think that ultimatum came when, again, when the guy that they selected fifth overall 2 years prior, I think when he walked in there and said him or me, I think that's when the decision was made. Well, again, we can't go against the guy that we ultimately drafted. We got to get the other guy gone. That's
Well,
what I believe.
well, you know what? And what I believe is, I believe if he wasn't up there telling them that they was wrong for drafting him, if he wasn't up there telling them that they was wrong for not letting him get his guys, if he wasn't up there telling them this is the reason why I told y'all not to pick him, Tua could have went up there and says him and me. If he was out there working with him and doing what he's doing and still treating him the way he was, but working with him and not undermining them, no, they wouldn't have got rid of him. I think it's the undermining them that eventually got him fired. Not Tua saying that. I think it's his part that he played in that. And they was like, well, this could be a reason that we could get rid of him. Because if he's not up there talking to them, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not. We all human beings. Certain things you're not gonna deal with. Certain things that make me want to get you out this building before others. And you up there telling me that I was dead wrong and throwing that in my face? No, I'm gonna fire you for that more than Tua coming up here saying, oh, it's him and me. Because he was a hell of a coach. So yes, Tua had a major part. I think he had a major part about it. But I think the part about it is him keep throwing them in their face. That's just my from my perspective. I don't think Tua that saying that. Nah, I think it had that was a lot that adding fuel to the fire. But if Brian Flores wasn't conducting himself the way he was, they would have worked through that too.
Yeah, I don't know. Uh, mm, I, I mean, yeah. Again, it's possible. I just don't see it like that. I think they invested in a fifth overall draft pick, and again, it's just your opinion versus mine at this point. But again, I'm not saying that that's not a contributing factor, but I think all that. I think everything, all those contributing factors, I think they worked through, except when the perceived franchise guy comes in there and drops the ultimatum. I think that's what again. Hey, basically, we're at a what are we gonna do? And ultimately, they chose two over Brian Flores. I think all that other shit they could have worked out. But again, I could be wrong, Tone. I'm just giving you my opinion, right? Just like you're throwing your option. I can't debate that. That's how you feel. But nah, bro. I think Brian Flores comes back for year 4 if Tua don't knock at that door. And you know, as of now, I don't got confirmation on that, so I can't say 100%. You know, that's what it is. But that's what my feeling is.
I know Brian Flores rubbed a lot of people wrong in that building, including Omar Kelly. He still ain't getting over. He can't stand Flores to this day.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, okay, that's cool. So what?
I'm just
I don't.
saying. So
What I'm saying is, I don't care how Brian. I don't care how Omar Kelly feels about Brian
but
Flores.
I think the front office do. If you rub people the wrong way, they'll find any reason to get you up out the building.
Again, that goes back to the scapegoat question though, because from my knowledge, I don't think Brian Flores has ever talked to Big O. Why didn't Big O like him?
Well, he probably don't. I'm just saying. I know one.
But
Omar
that's
Kelly
what.
voicing his opinion about he didn't like him. You
well,
got other players
my,
that's voicing their opinion about them not liking them too.
well, again, but just as many players that came out and said they didn't like him, there was just as many players that said they loved him.
But guess what? The players that didn't like him was on the same side of the front office that didn't like the way he was talking to them.
And the
So
quarterback that didn't like him. And the quarterback that didn't like him.
Right. That's why I said the player. Just a minute. The quarterback is a player, right? Just a minute. Those players was on the same side of the front office and the guys that didn't like the way he was talking to them either.
I don't think
care what you tell me. If you tell me that I don't know what I'm doing, and the one constant with the failures of this team are the both of y'all, let's be honest.
And I completely understand that. But the players that also that were saying they didn't like him were Jalen Phillips, that was one, and Mike Gesicki was another one. And I'm
too?
Okay, cool. You want to throw Austin Jackson in there? I do believe it was Austin Jackson as well. If Austin Jackson, Mike Gesicki, and Jalen Phillips go up there and knock at the same time, if they walk in that office, all three together, and they say, it's that guy over me, I believe Brian Flores is coming back. That's all I'm saying. We can name all these other people that don't like Brian Flores. When Tua says him or me, they chose Tua. Those three guys, Tone, could have walked in that office together and said, oh my God, Daddy Ross, Brian Flores is treating us bad. You know what they would have did? They would have got Austin Jackson the hell up out of here. They would have got, you think they were choosing Mike Gesicki over Brian Flores?
No, but I don't think they probably got him out the business. They were like, well, deal with it.
Right. When Tua, though, went in there and said the ultimatum, that's when they chose Tua over Brian Flores. That's what I'm saying. He was the biggest determining factor of why Brian Flores ain't here.
Well, of course he was, because he was the biggest determining factor of why he was undermining them. So yes, it goes hand in hand.
Was he right?
I believe he was right. But what I'm saying is, if he's not undermining them about Tua, and he's out there coaching his ass off and giving his team the 2 back-to-back winning seasons, I don't think he. I think he also returned for year 4, even if Tua goes up there and say, "Oh, it's him and me."
But that's what I'm saying. He was coming off 2 back-to-back winning seasons. Tom, we keep saying he was undermining them, bro. He undermined them from year 1 when he told them he didn't want to draft Tua. He was telling them from the jump. They didn't fire him then. They didn't tell him, bro. He was telling them they didn't know shit from the time he got in this bitch. And they didn't fire him.
No.
Well, did Brian Flores want to draft Tua?
Brian Flores had it. So let's not act like people don't have disagreements. Yes, he probably was telling, "Nah, I prefer this guy," but they was, we gonna go with this. Do I think when they said we was going to, this is why y'all don't know nothing? No. You know why? Because he didn't have the evidence. But then when Tua came in and he started to play and look exactly like what he said, now I'm starting to undermine you. This is why. I told you this. You couldn't say I told you so until he started playing. So no, I don't think it was to the same level from get-go. No. Nah. He wasn't in there saying you don't know nothing.
There's a reason he didn't want him.
Right, I understand that. The injury concern.
He probably right, and that was from day 1.
Right, but
that was at the draft. That was during the draft process. He telling them, exactly, I can't win with this guy.
Undermining them because he's not on your field, showing them exactly what I told you. I said that's when you can start undermining people. That's when you can start saying I told you so. You can't say I told you so before he take a snap. You can.
I'm just saying. I think Brian Flores in the draft process was talking to them scouts, and when them scouts were coming back and saying, "Man, we're looking at Tua Tagovailoa," I think you can undermine them when you throw on that tape and you see Tua Tagovailoa. When that scout is telling you how great Tua Tagovailoa is, and them scouts are showing Tua in Alabama versus Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, and North Dakota State, right?
What about LSU? One of the greatest teams in history.
And he was trash.
No, he wasn't. You crazy?
Again, Tone.
That game.
Again, cool.
One of the greatest games we seen.
And he had 2 terrible turnovers in that game as well.
And he also had 4 touchdowns.
Right, cool.
One.
Did they win it?
No. But we say great game. I mean, someone had to win, someone had to lose.
Well, again, we've seen Tua have a great game here and there. Tone, how did Tua look against the 2 times he played against Georgia? Did he have good games there?
One time he did, one time he didn't.
How about the game against Clemson? Did he look good there?
That was a bad game.
All I'm saying is,
if I'm Brian, terrible game. The other one just wasn't as good as his
mediocre at best.
You could say that, but
you could tell very early that Tua shines against the North Dakota Valley Arcanauts, and Tua looked.
He also signed against the Floridas, the Tennessees, the Georgias, the Auburns. He did.
No,
he signed against those. Like Tua had one of the greatest college careers at quarterback in quarterback history. So he wasn't only you got to name 3 games, maybe 3 or 4 games. They go, well, those wasn't as great. For the most part, the man was putting on.
All I know, how you know Brian Flores wasn't in that bitch and saying, well, all the quarterbacks before Tua Tagovailoa won a national championship as a starter, and all the quarterbacks after Tua that left, after he left.
Quarterbacks after Tua because it had to be after they drafted him.
Well, he could have said before.
It was only one before him.
No. There were several Alabama quarterbacks that had won championships.
The same team.
All I'm saying is, when you go to Alabama at that.
They lost. Alabama wasn't coming out 4 straight championships.
Again, cool. When you go to Alabama at that time, they had the best team in college football, and you knew you were playing for national championships. And all I know, Tua was the only quarterback starting like that wasn't in winning championships. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Jalen Hurts was there before him, and he went in and won one for him. That was before him.
And the very next year when they set Jalen Hurts for Tua, the reason that Tua got to play in that next national championship game is because after he got benched, Jalen Hurts went in there and beat Georgia for him.
What you saying? I'm just telling you for the context.
All I'm saying, he never even led a championship team, Tom.
Well, he went in there and won one though.
At halftime?
Yeah, I mean, it's quiet as a cap.
The man threw 11 passes in the second half, Tom.
Quiet as a cap, Lou. You can't just go put any quarterback in that position and they're going to deliver like that. Let's stop with that, bro. I get it. He been bad against some bad teams, and as a evaluator, you had to look at that because I looked at it. I look at it and I was like, well, you know what? The same thing that I'm judging your boy Mendoza on. You know what I could say? Go look at his performances in these big time games.
And that's not fair. That's fair to say.
Right. But what I'm saying, but they still gonna bring him in first overall. I could say go look at Bo Nix. Bo Nix was trash in the SEC. You could say Bo.
Again, that doesn't make it right. You could say Bo Nix is trash in the NFL.
But they haven't. Bo Nix is not trash in the NFL.
I'm saying I didn't say he was. I said you could say that though. If there's people that made the argument right now, Tone, that said, again, do you think there's any other quarterback that could go over there and take Denver to the AFC Championship game? I would look at it if it was me and someone posed that question and looking at how Denver played this season. Yeah.
No, I think any other quarterback, no. Geno Smith is not going over there winning no championship. Justin Fields is not going over winning no championship.
Maybe not say all. Let's put people on a competent level than Bo Nix. Because what I'm saying is, do you think Bo Nix carried Denver, or did Denver kind of carry Bo Nix to that position? Which one would you say?
Denver, their defense, they did the heavy lifting.
That's all I'm saying.
But Bo Nix also did his part. Let's not act like Bo Nix didn't have a pretty good season. He didn't have no regular season either. You understand? So what I'm saying is, you still have to do your part. You still, I'm real. You still have to do your part. Now, with my evaluation of Tua, I was like, no, I didn't want him. I'm Joe Burrow. I was the Joe Burrow. No, go get Joe Burrow by any means necessary. And I didn't want Tua. But what I'm saying, my argument is not about saying whether Tua is good or not. What I'm saying is he couldn't say what you said at the time that they drafted him because he didn't see
Yeah,
what the people before. Hold on, he didn't see what the people after him said, but he also did see someone before. That's why I said not everyone, because Jalen. I guess people always when y'all throw that out that everyone won a championship with that team and stuff too, y'all forget about Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts came into the NFL and won the Super Bowl. Now, Matt Jones did it after him, and what his name, Caffrey, what the other dude name is, won one before him. Yes, with those same collective of players. All I'm saying is the part of him saying, you know, undermining them because of the scouts and all that. No, you couldn't do that when Tua was coming out. Now, when you had things that caused concerns, which we all, well, I ain't gonna say we all, well, people like me, and I don't know if how you was about Tua. When we evaluate, I'm like, no, I don't bring him. I don't, especially coming off that hip injury. But look, man, great debates. You know, what we at? Hour 35. Y'all know how I get when we go back and forth. I see y'all in the chat. Give me your opinion. That's cool. Listen, 33 or not 31 of y'all in the building. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Make sure y'all help the channel grow. I believe you know, I don't be on every channel, but I believe this is one of the only channel where you have these debates that we go back and forth. Give 100%, and y'all gonna get a great back and forth between both of us, because even when we make our debates, at least we use some facts behind it, and it's not based off feelings. It's not only feeling based. But listen, what I was just about to take your go ahead, Lou. You got anything before we get up out of here?
No, I'm good.
All right, man. Get us up out of here then, Lou, man.
Hey, man, listen. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what y'all just watched. It was the Wednesday episode of the Blitz pickup for our for Jess. She was out today, had some things that came up.
Yeah,
Hopefully she's doing well. What life be life and work be working. Salute to Jess. Salute to the producer in the back. From my brother Tone. You know who I am. We'll see y'all Friday for the next one, man. Y'all know how we get down. Shout out to all the people in the Dolphin organization now that we don't know. Even Troy Aikman didn't know who it was.
Yeah, man. We gonna be talking about the Super Bowl next week. Appreciate y'all.